Okay, well, welcome to today's Tuesday class. And today we're going to be practicing, we're going to have a practice class and we're going to do some exercise and try to build some layouts using Flexbox uh, and Grid. And you guys welcome to code along with me, or you're free to just watch and help. And actually, I expect you to be involved and do it with me. I'm gonna be asking questions along the class and ask for your help, and maybe you can even give me better ideas. So the idea of this class, so we have to do this project together, and yeah, and try to work like cooperate, and I hope for your cooperation. Well, and in scope of this class, I I would like us to build this example of this web page. We could do it exactly like this way, and like the same layout with the same colors and fonts. We can add something on our own and do some improvisation. So we are free to do anything you want. Well, did you guys learn or practice or use Bootstrap or Material UI or something like that, where you borrow some styles from third parties?
I think we're gonna cover Bootstrap tomorrow.
Mhm. Okay. Actually, let me open your. Because I've seen somewhere it were mentioned in Bootstrap or something, but
Let's try tomorrow after this class. Bootstrap.
Bootstrap is going to be small. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And before you start the Bootstrap, I want us to use some like approach, some techniques, uh, which is going to look close to Bootstrap. It's going to have kind of common idea, and after practicing that, you're gonna have like you're gonna be covering Bootstrap easier, so it's gonna make more sense for you tomorrow. So let's go back to our page and take a look at that. So I'm gonna use my favorite tool and expand the page. So here we're gonna have a grid. We have a header, we have a main page, some kind of form where we have to provide our like information. Next, we're gonna have some data. It's gonna be another section, and it looks like another section and footer. Okay, well, and before we start working on that sheet, I mean, not sheet, Google Sheet in my mind, we have to like print, make a little small draw and find out what we have here. And maybe even write it down to our code. So I prepared empty object and I created two empty files, styles and HTML file. And I already added a script from Font Awesome, so we can borrow some icons from there. Did you guys use imported icons from Font Awesome or any other third parties yet?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so then I don't have to show it to you, but just in case if somebody missed that, I can And I can briefly explain how we can use it. So Font Awesome is just a library of icons we can use. I think there are some others, a lot of other exist. So I don't remember when last year it was free or it was paid, but anyways, the idea, you just sign in for free and they give you some kind of link which you can copy paste and insert into your project.
Oh, yeah, actually, I tried to find here, but was not the link. I searched like font awesome CDN, and there you can find the link. CDN.
Or you can use this way. If it works, that means it's good. So if it works for you, and if you use CDN, is like you're free to use it. At work, you're probably gonna have your own library of icons if it's gonna be some kind of big project and custom build icons and stuff like that. So, but for our like projects, small projects, we can use just borrow from third parties, and they're nice and they're free. Well, yeah, and to look for icons. So I don't know where to show where they give me this link, but the idea I already copy paste. They just give me this link. I copy paste it to my project, and we can Google search for any icon. Copy and paste it to our body. And that's just a quick recap. Yeah, this is our icon. Okay, what else we're gonna be using? So far, that's it so far for our project. And let me write some pseudocode and give some to get some ideas how we're gonna be building this project. Well, I think we have to add a few elements like header, main, to make it semantic, or we can use a div. And we can build so far these two elements. And then step by step, we can keep going with other elements. So today, I suggest we can go from top to bottom and just focus on these two elements, header and main section. Well, so, yeah, header and section. Then I suggest we build this another section. How would you call this part of this web page? It's kind of, it's not the main page, it's not the main information in it. What comes to your idea?
I don't know, something like extra element.
It's actually like section, but it's also section actually, but
Yeah.
mm,
Let's make it like another section.
yeah, just so how many sections we have?
Like so far we have main. I would say it main, and it's a main. The layout of this page is not that kind of obvious and very like limited. We don't have a lot of information at this page, so
Can we try to make like the first one is will be just nav, it will be above the header, and make the form in the header. Nav and after that header.
Header, right?
Yeah, the form can be like as a header, and on the top will be just nav.
Yeah, this is actually a good idea. So we have header with form and some information, right? So it's gonna be header. Inside we're gonna have navbar, nav plus form plus div plus form. I like this idea actually. And then we're gonna have main page. And inside of main page, we're gonna have building some types. Technical plus. What is that? Simple prototype. It's just some info. We're gonna find out what is that. Some info plus technical and plus extreme cloud hosting plus div cloud. Yeah, looks good. And later on, I think we're gonna have some section with and the last one is footer. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna divide our work. So we have a plan for this project, and we can start implementing it one by one. Header, and let's start with header.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
As I understand, like you have unique link, yes, like hit 1000. I mean, like, can we use as well this link, or in our case we will have to use another?
You can I can share this link with you. This element
Okay.
you can use it, or you can use your own. You can like it's up to you, but I can share with you guys.
Okay, because I couldn't find out from the website how to like take a link, yes, or in order to add to the code.
Yeah, sure. So just copy paste it in your header, and you're gonna be free to go. Header, header. Header. So what we're going to have here? We're going to have some navbar. And inside of this navbar, we're going to have logo. Divs. Let's wrap it into some divs. And another component, I would like to like put all these buttons in one div and call it like
Menu.
Say again?
Sorry, can you ask again? Maybe I just didn't understand the question.
Yeah. So-
Sorry, you said how can we color or what? Color of div or what?
I would like to put all these 3 buttons to the same container
Mhm.
and like group them together. So it's gonna give us make it easier to put them aside and make some space. Somebody of you probably suspected I want to use flex and space between. If you think it, so you're right. And we're gonna be doing it right now. So the second part of this navbar is gonna be unordered list. And we're gonna add 3 list elements. Home, features, and let's make dots. There you go. Okay, so in our header we have nav, and then below the nav I would like to add. So let me make some drawing temporarily. Well, now it's time to put these 2 elements. I would call them form. It's definitely going to be div. What div? What is the class name you guys think is going to be a good fit for this div? Or maybe it's not going to be div, it's going to be section. So semantically, to make it like fit our logic.
Banner
Maybe yes,
Banner. Idea of banner is something pops up on the top, on the side, and disappears, and it's kind of sticky. Or maybe section inside div, section inside header. Okay, let's do it plus form section. Let's do it like that, and maybe we'll rename it later. And inside, we're gonna put some 2 divs. Div deployment. And form. Form dot register. Form. Action, no action for today. Okay, so if we keep printing. All right, well, we're done with our basic, like with the structure of our site of our application. I mean, not application or the page. So we kind of done at 30%. So now we have to fill it up and give some styles and organize things along the way. So let's do following. How to clean up my drawings. For that, we definitely need some styles, and I would include the style to our project. Link. Link CSS. There you go. And in our CSS file, we're gonna give some make selectors and pick them by class, ID, whatever, or tag element. But as I mentioned before, we can I can give you another approach. It's not approach, but another technique where we can separate our styles. So our style is gonna be like more specific styles and more common styles. Let me add one file and call it common. Okay, and also insert it to our project. Well, now we can do some. So these styles is gonna give us some extra power. So for the beginning, I would suggest we declare some variables and get some values. Let's do something like oops. Main color. Is it the right way to declare a variable? Yeah. Main color. And there is another one tool you can use. There are actually other tools you can use for this, for your own development. But this tool allows you to pick some color and just get the code for that. So I got this code. Is not. Let's pick another color.
Yeah, you need to add hashtag in the beginning.
Here.
That's I mean the color.
Thank you. Yeah, that works. And let's grab our second color. Main color. And for footer, we have another one. Or we can copy in this format. There you go.
Takhir, actually, we're gonna use this color not only for the footer, we're gonna use for buttons. Can we call it different?
Let's compare that.
It's same, no?
Is it same 380864? Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, let's call it not footer color. It's gonna be.
Actually, we have like two colors and it's just purple and dark purple. We can just call like this. So.
Yeah, we can. It's just a naming convention. We can make it like secondary.
Like okay.
Secondary color. There is a like a very interesting topic, how to name your variables. It sometimes may be challenging because the code should be readable, and readability it's one of the characteristic of the nice written code. So that means not only you can understand the code and somebody else after you, maybe you're gonna be promoted to other role or gonna be like not gonna be working on this part of application, and other persons should take a look at your code and shouldn't struggle a lot to understand what's going on. And variables, properly named variables, would be a nice help for other developer to understand what's going on with this code. Because if you name your variables like something which you understand just yourself, which makes sense for yourself, it's not gonna make sense for somebody else, or even for yourself. If you look at your code 1 month later, you may be struggling too, like any other person who looking at that first time. So naming variables, it's one of the things. It should be understandable and should be kind of properly named, but it comes to you with the experience. So let's say me at work, I work a lot with responses, requests, and data transfer through the REST, like doing like network requests. And I always do like declare some variable name like client response, and do some code, or even like client REST, stuff like that. So some other, like another bad, I mean, not the good proper naming would be some R or something like data, but it just depends on the project, on the structure of your code. Okay, and for our common styles, let's go back to our project. Our styles, I would suggest we apply here our best practices: box sizing, border box, margin 0, and padding 0. Padding 0. Okay. And we don't have element with some class, but we can declare some class ahead of time and assign these and add this class to our elements and remove them later if you want to. So I would suggest to create 2 groups of common styles. First is developers, developer styles, and other styles. These comments just for convention. In real code, you're probably not going to be using them. So, and styles. Well, developer styles. What does it mean? So I would like to see if you remember previous time we were highlighting our border to see where our container lives and how big is that. So I would suggest to create some class, red border. Should be class with that. And I just add here border 1px, solid, and red. And the same thing I would suggest to do with red and green border. Okay, here are our styles. And let's add this class to some of our elements and see. Let's give it to our header. Yeah. Okay, red board. Why it doesn't work? Of course, type. Yeah, there you go. A red board, and let's give it to our navbar. Navbar. Let's give it some green board. I forgot to update it. There you go. Okay, we have some styles, but doesn't give us a lot of information yet. Well, let's take a look at our initial page. Well, here we have two containers. I would suggest to put them aside using some Flexbox and make a space between. Let's do that. So let's go to our styles and select our.
Takhir, sorry. I think we need one more thing for common styles. It's import the font, because we use here different fonts.
Font, yeah, it's actually a good idea. Let's do a font family. Font family. Do you have an idea which one?
I don't know, maybe Arial.
Arial. Yeah, Arial is classic. Nice catch, actually. Yeah. Looks very close. Okay, and let's select our first element in our header. So our header is going to. Oh, actually, we have to give to our header some layout. So these, let's paste the logo for now. Logo and styles. What else do we have here? Header, nav, and div. Let's give him some height. And it's gonna be like maybe 100 px. Maybe 150. Yeah, looks good. And let's give it some. We don't have any value inside this third component. Which one? So that's why it's kind of is not appeared. So let's just copy paste it for now. Copy paste it. And the form we add some. Just add some text. placeholder name. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and just one more thing.
Mhm.
In deployment, we have H1 and paragraph is separate. You can just check it.
Yeah. Here
And
we have two different kind of styles. It's paragraph and it can be like H something, H2, H3. We can find it out later.
okay, and but what is it?
So now I think we have to organize our containers, our elements inside of our header. Temporary, let's give them some margin. And I would like to give each of this element, each of this container, some margin. Let's say I would like to give them 10 pixel margin to each, but not to every single inside. And the main I would like to add, let's say I want to give margin to this container and to this. Of course, one of the approach we can just select element we would like to see and say margin 10px. But actually, what I would suggest, we can just add some class and call it margin. Margin and say margin 10. And just say margin 10px. Okay, and now as soon as we add this class name to our elements, we're gonna have margin 10 pixels to the elements we would like to highlight, to add it. So let's take a look at this map. Margin 10. Let's give it to a logo. The dot, sorry guys. The dot is for CSS only. And for our UL. Yeah. Now we have our margin. Okay. I think we can get rid of height temporarily. So we're gonna fit the content. Okay. Well, now we see our top line. So let's spread them apart. For that, I would suggest we can use flex and just make it flex space between, as you should know right now. And looking at this project, I think we're gonna have more than one flex applied to our layout. I think here we can use flex in the very top. I don't mind to use flex here or anywhere else, like let's say in footer. Footer is not a bad idea. I mean, actually, flex is not a bad idea to use it anywhere. So let's create our class and let's call it Flexbox or just flex. And just say display flex. Display flex. And we can add another class flex. Let's call it space between. And we add justified content space around between. Okay, where we need a flex and space between our nav. Let's add these classes to each class, and we call it flex and space. Space between. Space. There you go. How you guys like it? Are you following my approach? Do you have any questions so far?
Excuse me, like what do you use margin in the command style?
Margin? Yeah, I use say again. Like keep saying.
Like in the command styles, you only like set the only nav part to the margin.
No, in common styles, I just created some.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
I didn't apply to anything. So if remember before that, you were looking just to you select element and you create a style. But here we are learning some approach when you create a style and then you select the element you want this style to be applied. So it's kind of vice versa. So you have like a different view on the programming and building your UI. Well, let's actually reuse this logic to other components. We have easier deployment. It's a form section. Let's add flex and space between. There you go. And here you can see the same effect. And let's add margin 10. Margin 10. And to our form, we add margin 10 too. Yeah, they align a little bit more now. Okay, it looks better now. Let's take a look at our navigation, which is, I think each element should be like anchored, like a link, right? So we can wrap each element to a tag, href, home, I don't know, google.com. And I'm just going to replace like that. Okay. And actually, do you know how to make like a lot of copies? So you can click Shift and Alt, and then click button down, and it's gonna just duplicate this element. You write it up or down, and it's gonna go into like just reproduce one. Okay, home. Then next one is features. And the third one is docs. There you go. Okay, I think it's time to work a little bit on just styles related to our project. Let's give it, we cannot see actual border here, but I would suggest we can, if we take, let me take this pencil. If we take it like 100%, maybe it's going to be like 25% of our width. Yeah, let's try it to give it 25. So we have to define this UL. UL, and let's give it some custom class name. Nav buttons. Buttons. And oh my god, guys, sorry. These things supposed to be in common styles, not just styles. It should be here. I just copy paste. So hopefully it's not gonna confuse you. Yeah. Well, nav buttons. Nav buttons. So give it some width. Width. 25%. 25%. Looks better. Yeah, looks better without 25%. It's here. So buttons. Let's get rid of this anchor tag properties. At home. We don't need this. Who remembers how to get rid of that annoying underline?
Is it text decoration?
Text decoration. There you go. None. Text decoration.
Doesn't.
Does it work? Text decoration. One. Actually, it should work. I don't know who doesn't. Text decoration and
But I know how to remove the dots.
yeah, element list.
Yeah, we need to give the style for H tag, not just for class. Can you try to give text decoration for the tag?
Mhm. Decoration and UL, right? ULA. Text decoration. Text decoration. None. But it doesn't.
Me Google.
Doesn't work. But technically it should. I was looking at W3 school. Actually, let's Google it now. How to text decoration. It's interesting. Okay, guys, it's 9 o'clock time. We can take a short break. What do you think? 5 or 10 minutes break? Would you like to take
10.
10 minutes break? Okay. All right. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions before we go to break.
No questions. Can you please open the indexed HTML file? I was copying the code thing. Could you please leave it like that? Thank you.
Oh, I forgot you. Probably better would be if I leave it this way. Okay, 10 minutes break. Okay, welcome back. And we are here to keep working on our layout with common and unique styles. Well, so last time we had a problem with anchor tag, and I did a little research. It's been saying we have to apply this style to actually we can try to apply to any anchor tag like that. Yeah, there you go, looks better. So I would suggest we can move this style to our common styles, because I think for all our websites, I wouldn't like to see this blue underline. So I suggest to move it here. And one more property I'd like to add, just color inherit. Okay, looks better, but it's clickable. Now we can click it, and of course we're not gonna go anywhere because google.com is the full website, but it's not the case. There we go. Well, this is the time for us to to align these elements. Now it's in column. I suggest we can add this container one class name, and it's gonna be in line. Actually, let's do it like that. Well, we need to find this container, and it's being called nav buttons. Nav buttons. Let's just add a keyword flex. There you go. Now we have our buttons next to each other, too close to each other. Let's actually make it a little bit far away. Would you guys suggest it's a margin, or yeah, margin will be good. Actually,
We just increase the width,
width.
but they don't even have a space to between.
Let's take a look how many width. And is it 25%? I would give it a little bit more space instead of 25%. I would suggest we make it wider and just make a space between, and the font size is a little bit smaller in this case. So I think we can just make it smaller. Yeah, let's make a width. Let's do it like maybe 40%. 40%. Now buttons. And font size 0.75 EM. Now let's get smaller. Okay, green, red board. We can get rid of the red board. And this one. With Flex. Let's add another common property, space between. There you go. Space, maybe space around. Space between, they're too far away from each other.
Yeah, we can just decrease the width. I just thought we already had a class the space between.
Mhm.
I just think we can just decrease the width.
Yeah, let's decrease the width to maybe
25
Wait.
again. Sorry.
25. Yeah, 25. Looks not bad. Yeah, looks perfect. It doesn't allow me to make it more narrow. Mhm. Okay. So let's give it some color to our header. Right, header. Class header. Class header. I suggest we just give it background color. Background color, and we had a variable called main color. Color.
We need to warm.
Mhm. Good catch. But I suggest it may be not gonna work. 50-50. And if it's not gonna work, I probably can tell you why. No, that works. That works. Great. And style. And style. Yeah. One thing you would need to know as a programmer that sometimes, not sometimes, every time the computer reads the code from top to bottom, and sometimes when the computer knows some styles from one document, it probably may not be able to refer. Like sometimes the order matters, but in this case, it didn't play any role. So it should be good now. Okay, in our web page we have colors white. White colors is we can add to all header properties color white, and then maybe we can for now, so we can see it. White. Actually, we can add another variable to follow best practices. We can just say text color, or even font color. Font, no, text color sounds better by naming convention. And give it not perfect white or something. Let's say I'm an artist, I see like that. And give it color. Yeah. Text. And of course, it's not gonna work.
It should work. You forgot to see it later.
Yeah, that was typo. Yeah, looks better now. Well, header. Looks like header is. Let's give it a little bit space down. Let's just put padding. padding bottom. And let's give it extra 50 pixels. Just like that. Okay. Well, now we have our frame form and easier deployment container. Well, let's give them some border to see how they're gonna look like. Okay. So we can get rid of these now developer styles. So we don't need them. Green border anymore. Okay. But we would need develop this deployment margin. Let's put it in the beginning so it's gonna be easier to find them. Green.
Excuse me, Takhir.
Yes.
Before it goes too far, can I ask one question? Like, I just can't figure out. Did you do like flex direction row or something like this with like list elements because they are in a row?
This one?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, this is UL, an order list, and each element inside is list element, LI. It's a common practice. It's not necessarily should be LI. You can
No. I mean like they displayed in a row, not in the column.
yeah, flex in a flex.
Did you do it in the styles or common style?
It's in the common styles because I gave this container the class flex. So, but as soon as I added flex, so this container has a flex styles, and Dravio actually.
So it's just have a content space between it works, yes, like so. I mean like you did it in a row with space between.
Yes, look, I actually I was preparing myself for a flex class, but then I found out that your curriculum changed. But I have prepared for you this cheat sheet. It's not actually a cheat sheet; it's actually like kind of document where I described all these flex direction and some properties. Well,
No,
flex direction, as soon as you declare the container flex, it is going to have two main properties: flex direction and default direction. It's row. All containers inside flex box or flex container, all elements inside is going to be aligned from left to right in line. So they're going to be, so in our case we have just three of them, so they was like that. And actually I added some other styles to this container. I justified content. So for better explanation, this is a three main, or maybe four or five, yeah. Justify content can have like a few options. The first is center, when all elements they squeeze together in the center and the same distance on the left and the right side. Flex start and flex end, they similar. In the flex start, so they take a main direction and just put it like in default version, default. And this styles is being called space between. I'm sorry.
okay, got it. My problem was that I didn't indicate the flex class in the UL part. I'm sorry, my bad. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anybody wants me to go and refresh your memory about Flexbox from yesterday lessons? So I can go through this document shortly, like 5 minutes, to refresh your memory. If somebody needs that, just let me know. Okay, looks like you're pretty confident with Flex. So, but I can share this diagram to you later. I didn't finish it yet, but yeah, I add align items, and you got, in case you're gonna forget how it works, you can just open it anytime and take a look at this. Well, let's go back to our document. Okay. And form section, let's add green. No, not that one. Green. And the form plus. Okay, this is our two elements. Well, they look not that good so far. So somebody mentioned we can wrap in this text in a paragraph and age something, right? Let's do it right now. Easier development. Easier development. It looks good. Well, easy development, I would like to wrap inter age. Let's try H3 for beginning. H3 and is the deployment, not development. And the rest of that, I would suggest to wrap into P tag. P tag is it's still a huge font size. We need it a little bit smaller. Okay, how about to add another variable? We can add small text, small text size, and let's give it 0.4 EM. And here in our styles, I would say each paragraph is going to have font size, variable, small, another copy pasted small text, command C, command C. Looks better, but looks like 0.4, too small, 0.5. Yeah, and H3 tag looks kind of too big. Let's do it to H4. Yeah, looks a little bit better. Looks a little bit better. Well, something I would like to change here. We have a button. We have to add the button style, not style, the button itself. Button. It's ugly for now, but no worries. Let's give some maybe style to button. Yeah, dang. Read more button, background color transparent. Transparent. Read more button. Ah, yeah. The really matters. Not gonna work in our case. Does it fit? Yeah. But it still doesn't work. Oh, there. Yeah. Background color none. Okay, who can see the problem? Why our button is not transparent? And button color.
In your HTML declaration, you put extra dot.
HTML. Oh, yeah, that was right. That was right. Thank you. Read more button, but it's still not going to follow my styles. So the class
think-
name, did I
I
say?
said background color none, it means like by default it's gonna be gray, like as no, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Transparent. Yeah, transparent. That was right first time. Background color transparent. Border none. Border. Actually, it is a border. And it is a border. Border. We have to give it some nice border. 1 pixel white. 1 px white. But not white. We have variable. Text color. And solid. And let's give it a color. What color is that color? Color. Same variable. Options. Variable. Yeah. Let's give it some paddings to make it look bigger. Padding. Let's make it like 5px. 5px good enough. Yeah, looks close. And let's give it border radius. Border radius and border radius should be 4px. What is small? Not too much.
Maybe margin from top as well.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea, but I would like to give it to all our components, not just to the button, because we have some margin between this and this. two elements. So. Yeah, let's give it px. Let's give it margin. Yeah, margin top. Let's say 10px. MPX. And paragraph. We can come back to it a little bit later. It's not good. Let's go to our form. And give it a little bit of styles. So form. We call it register form. Register. And in our form, I would suggest we do the same. Is it transparent or it's not? No, it's a full white. Let's give it background color of background color. Background color and color variable, of course. Actually, it's a text color. I'm gonna interfere. Okay, in our form, we have a little bit different color. So I think we can reuse our text color to our form. But logically, it's not a good idea to use text color to give some properties not related to text. We will probably have to avoid that because it's going to be it's not going to be considered as a best practices to use. It's not going to be a proper. So let's give it just a white. That's how to call it. Padding. Let's do it 20px. Okay. Register form, but it's not doing anything. Why our form is not having any background color? Does anybody has an idea why we cannot give a color to our form? It works like that, but it doesn't work like this. I know the answer, but anybody has an idea? It's related to selectors and priority of selecting elements. Well, I have to add one more thing, and now our form is going to work, I suggest. Well, it happened. Register form. Oh, it's the left side. Form section. Okay, there you go. So we have just a more strong selector. B. S. Wow, it's not working anyways. I can select it by tag name, but it's not gonna be selected by the class name. It's strange. Okay, let's keep it like that. We're gonna find out the problem. The form. The form, let's give it some border radius. Border radius, let's give it 8px. Too much. From 5. 5 looks better. Yeah, almost like it is. Very close to them. Okay. Now we're missing some other elements replace them. We're missing some feet.
Excuse me, Takhir.
Yes?
That background color for me it works actually. Like if I tag by class name.
Form, action, class, register form. It
Yes,
works.
yes.
You say
It works. It works for me. Like I just did by class register form and background color white and it's working.
Interesting. Interesting. Maybe I overwrite it here. Maybe yeah. As I said you before, it's some order of elements can matter sometimes. Yeah, now it works for me too. Thank you. Okay, and I think we can go and practice the grid you were doing yesterday, and just for practice, wrap these two elements into the grid. Right. So we're gonna have a container, and we're gonna have a grid container, and wrap them together, and give it like maybe 2, 3. Are you guys familiar with fractions? FR?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would suggest we can just divide this by fractions and give these 2 fractions, 3 fractions, and give here 2 fractions. So it's gonna give us like 5 in total. So technically it's gonna be 40%, it's gonna be 60%, but in fractions, it's gonna be 3 and 2. Let's just try to implement it. So we have to find the form wrapper. Form wrapper. Function. Right, out of code. So here we have a display flex and space between. Okay, just let's. Yeah, that's right. We can, yeah, flex works great for us. Just for practicing, I would suggest we can add some grid. Action. Form section. Display grid. Yeah, so there is something. Grid template template columns. Let's make it 2 columns, 2, 3 FR and 2 FR. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. So now, as I mentioned earlier, we have our about 40% and 60% layout distribution. Well, probably we can give a little bit more styles to our form, make it look nicer, and keep going with our rest of our page. So looks like we're missing request demo sign. Let's add it to our HTML first. Body size, it looks a little bit smaller than this H4 sign. So I would suggest we can add H5 to make it one step, one grade smaller. Request then nice. I think the color of our form is not black, but it's not perfect. It's not white. It's some sort of gray. Let's give it some variable and form. Text color and make it gray. And pick it. Yeah. Okay, our styles. So let's give it a color. Yep. Okay. Let's take a look at our form tags, our form fields. So not to make a selector for this form input fields, I would suggest we can just add, make a selector like form and like two-step selector. Selection and input. Input. And let's border none. Yep. Border button 1px. All right, and gray. Yep, something like that. Okay. And let's make a font size. The font size actually looks to me the same like we have a paragraph, probably a little bit more. But let's hard code it this time. So paragraph font size was 0.5 EM, right? EM. Yeah, let's make it 0.6. 6 EM. Oh, we forgot a button. Let's add a button to our form. So to add the button to the form, we have two options. We can add it like button. It's a classic way. Submit. Or we can add just input button. Value submit. And technically, since we have a button somewhere, button styles, and do we? Button. But technically, it's kind of the same element, but similar element, but different HTML tag. So input, it's kind of belongs more to form and form logic. So by the best practices, it's better to use input type button and have a value. It's gonna be kind of name of button, value submit. In React, it's gonna be some functionality added to this element, like on click, but we're not gonna cover it right now today. So using the best practices, I would suggest to use submit, but you are free to use button or anything else. So as any other element, we can add class and submit, button. Okay. Well, to submit button, I would suggest we just give it some color, background color, and we already know this color. It's main color. Color of font is our small text size, text color. Yep. Is it? It's smaller. This is the same color, right? But it doesn't look the same. Probably the font size is smaller. I don't know. It's fun fact. Okay, let's give it some padding to make it look nicer. Padding 3px. 3px. Border radius 3px. Or even 2px, yeah. Font size 0.3 EM. Well, something similar looks like that. Okay, well, we can see something common. So as a software engineer, you have to follow some principles. And in programming, there are a lot of principles related to different kind of programming styles and approaches. But one of the most common is being called "do not repeat yourself." So what we are doing right now, of course, it's in scope of our learning project. But if we like type the same values again and again, like font size, border radius, padding. So as a software developer, your job is going to be to find repeatable elements, describe it one time, and just reuse with reusable logic. So that's why we're using these common styles, because we describe it one time and we just use it for any other elements. So as a developer, one of these repeated elements on this page, I can see that we have a shadow of this around this element, a shadow around these elements, and shadow around these seven elements. So, and if I would be following the same like approach and select each element, like select form and describe a shadow, select these two and select these seven, and I would have three like styles like that. But for this case, I would just suggest to add one commonly used element. It's for styles. Let's call it shadow. Shadow, and any element which is going to have this class is going to have a shadow of shadow 1px, 3px, 5px, gray, maybe dark gray. Let's see. Let's find our form and give it a class of shadow. Yeah, our form has a shadow right now. So if you want to get more familiar with shadow, you can find a lot of implementations of shadow and a lot of styles. So you can adjust the line, the angle is going to be facing up, down, left, right, whatever. So I think it's not like the main topic of our practice lesson today. So, but just in case, if you want to dig more about it, feel free to find it here. Okay, I'm gonna lose time. Well, we are done with our element. Well, this line looks like a style, right? And honestly, there is no proper way to make your rectangle in CSS and HTML. Let me pull my drawer tool. There is no way, as far as I know, to make it, let's say, 100 pixel, and this one is 80 pixel. Like in mathematics, you just give it to, as far as I know, So to achieve these, you can use some other elements to cover this and make it like look like style and design this way. So I can show to you how it's been built. Okay, let me remove my drawing. So technically here is just an element which has some property and just tilt some like 5 degrees or 7 degrees and make it nice layout. But it looks nice, it looks great, but technically it's just another element covering it. So for you, just for your information. Okay. Well, looks like it's time to take a short break. Do you guys have any questions? Any like anything you following along with me?
Yeah, actually, I got one question. Well, for some reason, I think that I have the same problem that you had with the register form. No, but I have a problem with form section. I cannot display grid. Display grid is not working for me, and I'm looking for several options why it's not working, but unfortunately I cannot find it.
Let's take a look at your code during the break, and we can take a look at that. Anybody else have some questions I can answer right now before we're gonna take a break?
No, thank
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me run my timer, and you can share your screen. Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording. Or actually, we can keep recording. So you're free to share your screen and show me what you got.
Can you see my code?
1 second. I'm gonna move it on my main, the large screen.
And so this one is form.
1 second. I wanna full screen. Yeah. Well, I have.
Can you see?
Yep, I can see the screen.
So this one is you see form section. And this form section. So the class name, everything is correct. So I just display grid and grid template 3 fraction and 2 fraction as you did.
Yeah.
And this one's the result. Is it supposed to be like this, or is like somehow an error?
Show me your code again. Okay, so form section, right? Form section, display grid. Show me your form section in HTML. So inside it, you have.
No, it's like, you see, this one, the form is also inside of it.
Okay, yes, I see that. And for some reason, your form, but form section of form section. Let me think. Sometimes maybe because probably maybe you have a flex keyword still set in your form section.
Yeah, because when I inspected it, actually, a second. You see, I'm open the header, and you see, there's flex.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
the form section is flex.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably about overwriting. You see on the line 23, you say that this is flex container, but later you saying your form section is a grid container. So if you remove the flex, yeah, try it again.
Oh,
That
I think
works.
it's no.
It's not working.
Maybe I'll restart it. Maybe.
Interesting.
No, unfortunately, no. Because like when we do grid, it's supposed to be like column, yes? This one.
No. The grid is being applied for for a parent container. But if you apply and anything inside the grid container is going to be like set like a table, like a diagram. But if you wanna use like grid for elements, some styles you have to like select the element inside the grid container and do some additional manipulations, like this at which section of the grid it wants to take and stuff like that.
Well, I can't know why the grid is not working for me. Like I usually couldn't find any.
Display grid section. But open your browser again. Is it
Developers?
Yes.
Let's check it together.
Yeah,
It's already grid. It says it's grid, but why it doesn't work?
Yeah, it works.
It works?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because you know, for some reason I don't have like
space between. You probably can add some padding bottom, so it's gonna like make it a little extra, like it's some more like violet thing, like.
Okay, got it. So padding to add where, especially like in the
header
form? In the header?
Yes. So if it was your concern.
So this is my header, and just give some padding. Let's say, I guess 20 pixel is too much, yes?
It's okay.
Let's say 20 pixel.
You can always change it. Yeah, maybe even more padding.
Like, is it same for you? Like when you like make the screen larger, this column is like going to the row direction.
Go line, right?
Yeah, go line. Is it same for you?
I will take a look. Let me try. It should be, if you follow along with me, it should be the same on my screen, the same thing.
Yeah, because I'm following and it's
Yeah.
not like same?
Let's check it out. Okay. Oh, this is nasty sounds. Okay. Okay, so during this break, we found one bug in which we can see that our form and button goes. And all that happens that elements within the form are inline and they're trying to be next to each other as soon as they have some space for that. So in this case, we can just apply Flexbox style to our form. So form, we already have a class. Just give it a class of flex, and it's going to try to make it in line, flex in line, because default flex is going to be flex row, a horizontal line. So we have two options. We can add some common styles like we did before. Flex space between. Let's add it here. Direction. And add flex direction column. Okay, there you go. Flex direction column now. And yeah, now we have this thing. And if we spread it, it's not going to be in line anymore. It's going to try to take all the space. Well, what we can do here, we can align, it's align and justify. Hold on. So if it's column, justify, align. We have to align items. Actually, we can do it in our form selection. If we do align items and make it flex and flex for extract problems. That's interesting. We need, it's input, sorry about that. Oh, it's a grid, right? The flex section inside the grid. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, I forgot. I don't have a form selector itself, right? We have form section, flex, direction, shadow, register form. We didn't have this yet.
No, actually you have register form. Upper in line 28.
Oh, register form, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I have to use my glasses probably. Yeah, and register form. Items. Flex start. Yep, there you go. Because align items or align content is trying to stretch your elements by default, but if you make it to start, it's going to try to make them at one side. But actually, that was not a bad idea to stretch them. It looks more legit as far as I see. It doesn't look that bad. Let's stretch it. Yeah. Maybe we would add some space between our form elements. Form section. Input. And give it some margin top. 15px too much probably. I will start with 10. Yeah. Email. Mhm. Well, looks like we're done with our logic in the first part, and let's build our the middle part. The middle part is going to be main. To make it to separate and make it visually better, let's just let's make it between our comments. So all above it was header, form, now it's main. Main, we give it a class main. Main. And here I see an opportunity for our project or our page to use a grid layout again. Okay. Show you common styles code. Common styles. Okay, common styles. Guys, sometimes I cannot see your messages. If you would like me to just interrupt me sometimes and ask, because it may take me a while to check the message I got.
Excuse me, Takhir.
Yep.
Is flex direction works for the this for register form, because register form is inside of the div, which is grid. Is it gonna still work without problem?
Yeah, register form. Register
Okay.
form. It's a form
you see,
itself.
yeah, it's in form section, and form section is okay. Got it.
Mhm.
There is flex. I saw this totally grid.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. Well, yeah, it's probably better to choose one flex or grid to not to things to be complicated or messed up. But for our layout, I would suggest to use another grid. Another grid. Another grid. So I would suggest we could use grid and make it 1, 2, and even 3. 3 rows, but the second and the third row, I would suggest we use it in this form. So all first row is going to be taken by this element, and the rest of that is going to be taken by those ones. And let's try and see how it's going to work out for us. Okay. And there is another programming principles. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. And there is another principle is being called KISS. KISS. KISS stands for, it's real programming term. It stands for keep it simple, stupid. So if you want to, this principle works for better readability. So do not overcomplicate things. If you see the easier way, which is going to work and do the job, you'll probably better choose this method than using more something more complex without any like serious benefits of using it. So if you can use it simpler, just do it. Keep it stupid simple or simple stupid. And actually, I often mention that principle at work sometimes. But grid is not more simple. But I would like to use it just in case in scope of our practicing, because grid is kind of more complex stuff, complex topics. So let's use it. If following KISS method, KISS principles, I would use Flex for that. Okay. Well, main, and we can use class main and make it a display grid. Display grid. Okay, and inside of the main, we're going to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I consider this element like of 2, like one element with containing 2. Yep. So, and this element is going to have like 2. Here we can use flex inside of this. Go to our and add all these elements. D times div. Let's give it a name. Main element. Main element. Yeah, main element. And let's make it a flex too. Flex. Flex. And times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Times 5. Thank you, VS Code. I like you giving me such a great opportunity to not to type all these 5 elements one by one. Well, here I just copy paste the text. And maybe even it would be a good idea to wrap it to paragraph. Okay. And this element is going to have icon, some number, and some button or some short description. Let's find the icon for that element and go to our icon storage. Awesome. Deployments, terabyte network. Let's do something. Deployment doesn't look like deployment. Looks like a server. Yeah, this is a server, and we don't need a pro. We can use the regular one. Okay. Copy paste it. Hold on, it should be, yeah. First one. Like this. Okay, second. hard drive or something like that. Well, it's for pro, it's for professional. But we can use this one for free. And the last one looks like a networking. Okay, looks good. We can get rid of that. Let's see how it will work out. Yes. There you go. We have these elements. Whenever it's well, we have something like that, some numbers. Here we're going to have like H3, 10,000, 1, 2, 3, that. 6 terabyte CB, and here what is the last one? We got H3, sorry. Oh, H3, let's say H3 that chest, here we have 2 divs. There we go. Say 1, 2. Well, yeah, it looks not that good, but we're gonna take a look at that. Just imagine it's okay. To do that, I would suggest we give us a style and some size for our elements. So all these elements, but first going to have some probably dimension. Let's give it height and width element. And element, let's say height APX aspect ratio 1. Nice. Main element, but it's giving these styles to this one too. Main element 0, default main element 0. Okay, I just wanna like make it this first element aside of all of this. Doesn't look great so far, but let's give it some border. Border 1 px. Solid, green. Mhm. Okay. Main. Oh, because we have display grid here. Let's not just have it here yet. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit hard because I wanted to like adjust it first, but looks like we have to do our grid first before we align this element. Well, grid template, I would like to give it a grid template columns and rows. Grid template columns, we're going to have 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. 1 FR, 1 FR, and 1 fraction. We can give it actually some value in pixels or in percentage. And grid template columns and rows. We're gonna give it like 1, 2, 3, 1 FR, 1 fraction, 1 fraction. Does it help us a little bit? Yeah, that helps us a little bit, but it still looks ugly. But we're gonna take care of it. Take care of that thing. Well, we have main element 0. Main element 0. Let's select it and give it some a place where it's supposed to be at. Grid. I forgot actually. Who knows how to make this element to take all these 3 cells, the top one? Yeah.
I think it was grid column.
Grid area.
Area. I think it was a grid column and then.
Yes, we have to do grid area and do a letter or to identify this element.
Grid area 1, 2, 4 probably, right? Something changed, but not really. Grid area. One, two, three. Okay, so we have 6 cells. Probably I would need to like 3 grid. Yeah. And some hint.
If you do like this, I think you should use the grid column. With grid area, we used yesterday the letters to identify each row or each column.
Yeah, it's a little bit another approach of you spread this like elements, but actually you can there is another approach when you can take this element and say element and say you take column one and cells and rows 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's oh yeah, grid. So I got it. Grid column start end, or it can be used even more simple way. Grid column. One, 3. Or not to complicate things. So we're gonna tell the grid area, grid column. Grid column, we're gonna take 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, great. Okay, and grid row. We're gonna take 1, 2, 1. Hopefully it's gonna go today. Okay. Okay, and here. Grid column start. 1. Grid column and 4. Okay, 9 elements. To get rid of something. I will have 1 and 1. Okay, let's take a look what's happening here. Yeah, we have this element, but for some reason we have a wrong element set up in this place. So now we have grid. You see this is ever one row, and this is 2 more rows. So first row has been taken by 1 element. Maybe I'm doing the wrong selection. Oh, god damn it, that's right. I assigned the wrong element. Now it should be the right one. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, now we have our grid set up. The only thing, we have this 4th element, not in this section, but in this one. We're gonna fix it real quick. So our main element, let's give it some custom styles. Make it font bigger. Font size 1U. Here, too much. 1.4. And padding, do some padding. Padding. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we have some paddings here. we have these elements. Let's do main element. We can get rid of these properties so far. We can say width 100%. Okay, and now it's taking these cells 100%. We can, inside of each small element, we can have display flex. Display flex. Flex direction column. And align item center. Center. And justify content center too. Justify. There you go. Okay. I would keep aspect ratio too. Aspect ratio 1. Okay. Now it's too much. We enlarge our wait, let's do ADPs. Okay. And we can get rid of our border. Looks something close to, isn't it? Yeah. Do you guys following along with me? Do you have any questions about grid? We haven't done it yet, but so far.
Why don't we just use the flex for this, like making one container and then making 3 containers inside, and then use the flex and justifying the center and space around? It's much easier, I think, than using grid, counting the lines.
That's a great question, actually. Let's not to complicate things and make it with flex. You see how many lines of code we have with grid?
It's gonna be like the 5 minutes to.
Yeah, it's gonna take like that. Well, we have 55, we have like 20 something, 23 lines of code now, over 20. Let's try to make things with flex. To make it with flex, what I would suggest to do, this container, I would give it with 100%. So this is main element. Actually, I will make it 100% a little bit later, and I show you why. But for now, let's make it flex, display flex. Actually, we don't have to put display flex here because we can add it to our main. Our main. Main. Much code. Class main and flex. Okay. Our elements, it's already, no, it's not 100%. Let's comment it out. Okay, all my elements right now in line because the flex, trying to put them in flex direction row and put all of them in line. If I make the very first element 100%, it's going to take all of this width. So let's take a look. With 100%. But in this case, it didn't take the full width of our display, and I'll tell you why it happens, because Flex is giving us an opportunity to add wrapping. So if we do Flex wrap and select wrap, it's supposed to wrap our elements. Yep. If it's not gonna fit within this lane. So right now, if we take a look in inspector, inspect, yeah, we can see our elements. 200%. Yeah, our element is taking 100% of this viewport, and all other elements is just gonna be wrapped in line. Okay, then let's add some font size. Size 0.5 EM. 28. Padding, just to make it look. Okay, let's we can apply Flexbox to rest of our elements. Let's do that. Let's give them some width. I would give the width in this case not 100%, but 30%. 30%. Okay, it looks better now. Display flex. Flex direction. Flex direction. It's not a column. We need flex direction. It's inside this. Sorry. Font size. No. Okay. And we have these two nasty lines of of text, which is supposed to be in separate container. Let's just remove them and put it here in where it's supposed to be by default. So it looks like we can make it the one container and make it all together here. So in here we just have to change our structure, and it's been called projects, and just put them below the projects. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Looks better. No, not much better. Okay, well, what's going on here? Actually, what if we comment them out?
Maybe it's because of the font size.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I messed up. It's actually tricky things in HTML. You can just mess up with the nesting, and you can place it in the wrong place, and it's gonna give you a hard time and take your time to debug it. Well, looks like it should be no, not like that. Oh yeah, I have to get rid of this element. Yeah, and I can delete it. Yeah, we have to add this flex direction column, justify content. Justify content, let's do flex start. Flex start. Oh, I got it, because we have a height. So this is our, there was our problem. Yeah, that's why it overflows it. Well, these two guys right there, we have to select them somehow and adjust styles separately. How would you like to call these elements? Easy.
Flex and no.
How?
And start flex start and how? I forgot what this.
Yeah, but if you want to select just these two, it looks like a message or pop up message or something.
Oh.
It's a strange element. Let's additional info. Oh. And let's info font size yeah. Let's add some border to them. I mean, not border, we can add some shadow. We know it has a shadow. Let's shadow with 1 0. It's okay. There's some info, shadow, and here we add a shadow. Doesn't change that much. Let's give him some border. Let's give him some width. Let's give it 100%. Let's give him some margin top. Margin top. Let's do 15 px. And let's. Does it have a border? No, it don't have a border, but it has a border radius. Not margin. General. As in general, like 10 pixels. And give it like border radius 3px. 3px. 96 and margin 2%. Yep. Okay. Looks a little bit better now. So we can get rid of our developer tools, which are not develop those borders. Well, give it some height, probably. Height 50%. Not 50% aspect ratio, probably. Aspect ratio 0.4. Yeah. And here inside of this, we can use display flex too. It's not a surprise for you, so we can do display display flex. Flex direction. Flex direction. We actually don't need a flex direction. We just justify content, center, and align items center. There you go. Maybe give some more padding. Padding. We didn't have padding here, do we? Additional padding 5 pins. Okay. Well, that was approximate approach. If I would have a task to make exactly like this, of course, I would spend more time digging and making the color match, the font size match, and stuff like that. But in scope of our class, it's important, of course. It would be great if we would make it from the scratch, like right away, matching grade. But since we don't have a time anymore, so I think we can like stop right now, and I can answer some of your questions, maybe related to this project, related to front-end development in general, or something else, some other concerns if you have. You guys still here?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it was boring a little bit probably. So if you don't have any questions, I can stop recording.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can talk while sharing.